Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network. I'm Jeff Brightwell alongside head coach Daron Schoenrock. A long weekend with a lot of rain at FedEx Park, but coach, going back to last week in a midweek game, a game that you really needed, and kind of eager to see how the team would react coming off the series loss to East Carolina. And this team this year has not had trouble, whether they've come off a big series win or maybe a disappointing series loss, of coming back in the very next game, and they did a very good job over in Jonesboro to get a 6-0 win.
Yeah, that was a good win. They came from behind and beat us at our place early in the season, and it felt like at that time our teams were very similar. We were kind of pitching built, and uncertainties in the lineup. Tommy Raphael's bunch had been playing well, and getting a win over there on the road has been good. It is very good. Thought we leaned on Michael Wills again. He got us off to a great start, and we generated 2 big innings right there, back to back, and that was the difference.
And that's always been a tough place to play as well. And we've not had a lot of wins or losses, not had a lot of clean games like that. It always seems to be something very odd happens in that ball game. But you got Colton Simbeck 3-run homer in the second, added 3 more in the third, and were able to play very solid baseball the rest of the way out.
Yeah, I thought we defended and pitched very well down the stretch there and behind Michael, and had an opportunity to expand the lead a few times, but I thought our at-bat stayed pretty competitive throughout the game, and that's what we look for. Is I don't want these hitters ever feeling comfortable that we've got a 4-0 lead, 5-0 lead, 6-0 lead. To keep grinding and learn not to give at bats away, and we've done a pretty good job of that in this little stretch we're in now.
You turned around over the weekend and faced Marshall at FedEx Park. A big sweep for you because that has been a road team series. That's only the second home series I believe you've won against Marshall. They've only won once at home out in Charleston, so to get that sweep here in Memphis was huge. You also had to battle a lot of elements. Your game was rained out early on Friday, so you don't have to sit around the park and worry about that. But you come back Saturday for a doubleheader, and you experience a rain delay in that one. It was a long day at FedEx Park. But going back to the first game on Saturday, that was a quick one, 1 hour and 59 minutes. Daron Schoenrock, your son, pitches the shutout. He gets Conference USA Pitcher of the Week award for that, and kind of a wild finish. But we've had wild finishes on both sides in the series.
Yeah, we have, and that was like you said, two college pitchers that were very much on top of their game in that particular day, and it lined up. Both of them were really mixing 3 pitches. They were in the zone. Their command was good. They were making quality pitches to get out of jams when there was somewhat of a jam, and you knew it was going to come down to something crazy. You figure a game like that would be maybe an infield or an outfield error, and somebody gets a bunt down and somebody bleeds one through. Mm-hmm. To win that thing on a wild pitch is kind of uncharacteristic, but I've seen that before. It's the second time I've seen that in my 28 years of college coaching. So you take it any way you get. I think our guys deserved it. Our at-bats were as good off of Blair as theirs were against Eric. So Eric did a phenomenal job matching a guy that's going to go very, very high in the draft, matching him pitch for pitch that day, and kind of got us off to a good start in the series.
Well, I imagine Eric's going to have a pretty good chance the way he's pitched this year maybe to go pretty high in the draft. You talk about that game, just talking about this quickly. If they do complete the walk there and you load the bases, you've got 1 out. Can you tip your cap to us a little bit? Tell us what you were thinking. You're going to swing away with the next batter, maybe try that safety squeeze that's worked so well this year?
Well, we had the neat thing. I felt really good because Bryce had been giving us great at-bats for about a week. He doesn't have a lot to show for it. He's probably one of our most consistent guys at commanding the strike zone as a hitter. He doesn't swing at balls out of the zone very much. So I knew that Bryce was going to, when he got a ball in the zone, he was going to move it and wasn't going to chase. Well, he's taking his walks, and then he also handles a bat very well with the right side bunt game. With the for a left-handed hitter, it's actually a push bunt game where he can take a bunt with him. You saw him do it earlier in the game, at some point, and it's been a big part of Bryce's game. So we had some options there. I felt, I felt like Tucker's at bat was going to be pivotal for the Marshall side. How do they handle that? But I also felt very confident with Bryce, and that's 2 sophomores back to back in the lineup now that are giving us pretty consistent at bats, and especially the second half this year, it's been really good to see.
Really, the thing that gets overlooked in that ball game is Carter White's double, because his double allowed Ethan to get to third and be in position on a wild pitch to score.
Strange win, and it's kind of a cross win, and their right fielder, to not take anything away from him, that's a tough play. Carter stung it very well. The ball off the bat didn't look like it was going to carry. He got stationary, and then he realized he was beat a little bit and had to go back, and he was unsure where the wall is. So I think it's an unfamiliar ballpark. The wind kind of played some tricks with him, and I thought Ethan did a great job on that play to hold up. The tendency is to try to score there and get gritty, but then it goes back to trusting Tucker in that role to get that guy in, and then it turned out it was his at bat that got him in. So great at bat by Carter, and great job by Ethan, coaxing that, getting on base with one out, not letting and Ethan, another veteran in the lineup, has given us very, very good at bats without a lot of hits to show for it.
Coach, anytime you have an hour and 59-minute ball game, it's going to be a marathon the next game. And it was. We started out a pretty sunny, pleasant day, but we knew the rain was going to move in at some point. It was already getting cloudy by the time the second game had started, and the clouds continued to move in, started to get some light sprinkles. Fortunately, in the bottom of the fifth is when you broke up a tight game. Keaton Aldridge gets a blast, a 3-run homer. The wind kicked up at the right time, and he put it in the parking lot in right field. And the Ford Wilson gets a double. By that time, though, you had opened the ball game up before you had to pull the tarp.
Yeah, and we were trying to, just for the protection of arms and protection of the game, you want to try to get to where the starting pitching doesn't get neutralized too early because of a rain delay, and for both sides, and not just Sam, but for their pitcher too. So we played in a little drizzle. You get to the point to where it's probably time to pull pitchers anyway. All right, let's put the tarp on, and then both teams elect to go other directions after a 2-hour rain delay. Obviously, I was very, very happy we had the lead then, and the thing I was the most happy about is we come out after the rain delay and immediately put another 3-spot on them, and I thought that was huge for our offense to put a 2-hour rain delay behind them and then come out and score some runs again, and that showed that they were locked in and ready to go.
Well, it ended up being 2 hours 37 minutes on the rain delay, and as you talk about, you don't ever know what's going to happen after a rain delay. They could have had momentum, or they could have blown up, and it could have gone the complete opposite direction. But you built up a big lead, and they made a run at you in the ninth inning. You knew they wouldn't go down without a fight.
No, they always fight. They always fight. They take advantage of every out, and I told our team they're going to get after us. We gave them some things. We gave some things away, with the base on balls late in the game out of the bullpen, which we got to continue to address. And those kids are learning. They're growing up. We gave some kids, some younger kids opportunities, and that's what those games call for. So. Learning experiences. We were fortunate to come out with a win, and now we're set up good for a Game 3 showdown.
Well, a Sunday afternoon, Marshall comes out swinging pretty hot. They get a 4-1 lead in that ball game. You come from behind, though. Your team never panicked. They didn't seem to be down 4-1 early in that ball game. Just plugged along. Ended up getting the game tied up on, I believe it was a Colton Simbeck home run.
Yeah, Colton gave us a big blast to tie it up.
Tucker Tubbs home run.
Yeah, Tucker Tubbs to tie it up, and Colton's to put us ahead. And you're right. We've come from behind a few times now in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Maybe just down 2-0 here, 1-0 here, but they are learning not to panic. And the thing that allows you to make comebacks are not necessarily saying that we're going to score 3 this inning, but just say we got to compete in the box, and we got to make the guy on the mound work, whether it's commanding the strike zone, moving the ball on the ground, whatever we got to do to get on base. And then what you saw me do that day is once we got the lead, we went immediately to a short game, running game mode of expanding that thing and trying to teach our guys that, you keep in mind what happened the day before, because this team never goes away. But you also, when you're preparing your team for tournament play, you want to try to get as many pitchers in the game as you can. So expansion of the lead is done through little things rather than big swings, and that's the message I wanted to send our team once we got the lead.
Well, you end up getting the sweep, which is a great, keeps you in the top 4 in Conference USA going into the last conference weekend for you at Rice this week, and we'll talk about that in a second. But a chance for you to talk about maybe the the real stars of the weekend, your support staff, your turf staff, and everyone, because it was not an easy feat to get that ballpark ready to play one game, much less an entire 3-game series with all the rain. I know they were up there probably before the sun came up to try to drain that outfield to well after those ball games were over.
Yeah, they did a phenomenal job, Jeff. And even on dry weekends and when there's no rain and it's just normal conditions, the compliments we get from opposing coaches on how our field looks. And then, the problem with our ballpark is when we do get severe rains like that, we don't have any drainage in the outfield. So we have a major problem with outfield drainage, which is it's a hazard for injury. You run the risk of not getting games in when you have a dry infield. And our crew fights some things here that people around the country do not fight because they have better drainage in the outfield. So they understand that. They go to work, they roll their sleeves up, they get pumps going. Our team, our coaches, we all contribute, we all help, but Ben and his staff did a phenomenal job and got that outfield as dry as possible. And my hat's off to them. And we've got one more game at home here now, and we want to do a tribute to them. So phenomenal job by his crew.
Coach, on the road to Rice this weekend, huge series for you. NCAA hope's still out there, but you've got 6 road games left, and it starts with these 3 at Rice. And you've talked about the RPI formula. You need to pick up some road wins. We need to pick up some road wins. What happened to this team early in the season has put us in this position now, and our guys know that. They know what's at stake, and they've really known it for a couple weeks now. It's just grab them one at a time when we can get them, and we haven't been stellar on the road, with the exception of the series win at UAB. So we've got to establish that we can, play good conference baseball on the road. I think our teams are built very similar. We're not a power-laden team up, 1 through 9. We hang our hat on starting pitching and some bullpen matchups. Rice they have some vulnerable moments. They're not the typical top 10 type team that they've been in the past, but I think we match up well, and I'm anxious to see what our guys do down there. It's a big ball yard down there, a lot like playing at AutoZone Park. I wouldn't imagine you're going to see a whole lot of runs scored this weekend, and then with no midweek games, I guess Michael Wills could factor into the weekend because that's a ballpark that seems would be very favorable for him. Yeah, I think that series down there, outfield defense is very important. You've got to be able to defend the gaps. What you'll see us do is obviously Colton is swinging the bat and giving us he gives you a home run threat and some power threat in the bottom part of our order, which we haven't had for a while. We had it going with Jake Little before he got hurt. We give him a few at bats and then we go to defense mode, because with Austin and Ford Wilson and Bryce in there, we defend pretty well. We cover the gaps pretty well, and that'll be important in that park to cover the gaps. To play from in front, cover the gaps. Keep the ball in the ballpark, and you'll see Michael Wills as a factor this weekend before the weekend's over with no midweek games. So it's all hands on deck. It's look for the matchups, and we'll go with Sam Friday night and Eric Saturday, and we'll see what the lefty matchup looks like, and then we'll make a decision for Sunday who gets that nod. All right, Coach, we appreciate it. We'll see you down at Reckling Park. Thanks, Jeff. Head Coach Daron Schoenrock. I'm Jeff Brightwell for the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network.